I forgot to record my Google Meet, so here we are. I'm going to go through what we did and then post this as my video. Okay, just a couple of reminders. First of all, today is December is December 14th. It's Monday. Just a reminder, we are ending workshop 2 this Friday. I'm tired of dealing with it. And so I'm ending it Friday. This Friday is the due date for the vocab words. There are 35 vocab words at 5 points of vocab word on your vocab dictionary, which comes out to 175 points. I am collecting that in lieu or instead of having a test, a workshop test, and a workshop writing assignment, because I just want to get workshop 2 reminds me of 2020. I just want to get it over with. So the easier I can deal with it, the better. And the vocab dictionary is the easiest way I can wrap this up. So that's that announcement. And the second announcement is blank assignments. I'm tired of dealing with blank assignments. You turn it into me the first time and it's blank. I send it back to you with a note saying, please redo and please watch the YouTube video that corresponds to the date of the assignment. If I get it back at blank again, it's a 0 in my book. I'm done. Because I'm tired of seeing blank, of opening up blank assignments, and I'm about ready to go into tears because nobody cares to do their work. Okay, so what we've got going on today is we have 2 new vocab words. Okay, so before today, we have 31 vocab words. All 31 vocab words and their definitions, I have pictures of them from my word wall. There's 4 shots of them in the vocab section of my classroom. So if you don't have those done and written into your vocab dictionary, get them in there. And plus, the only 4 words that aren't in there is what we have today and tomorrow. So our first word is going to be essential. Essential. Essential is something that is needed. So as you can see from the example sentence, air and water are essential to sustain human life. Okay, so if you don't want to die, we need air, we need water. They are essential for us to live. Because what is it, 3 days, 4 days without water, we survive. And I think 7 minutes, 6, 7 minutes, 4 or something is the longest we can go without breathing. If we have a lack of oxygen supply going to our brain, it causes brain damage and then finally death at one point or another. Okay, so if you need extra time to write this down, pause the video. The next word is demand. Demand. Okay, we're dealing with the noun version of demand. There's also a verb version of demand. For example, I demand that you do your homework. Mrs. Anger demands that you do your homework. In that case, it's being used as a verb, and it means to request or command. In this case, we're dealing with it as a noun. in the example sentence. Now that many schools are doing distance learning, there is a high demand for different items of technology, such as laptops and high-speed internet. So in this case, demand is a requirement or a need. And if you need time to write this down, pause the video. Okay. Oh, I forgot to change the answers. Well, hang on. I forgot to take the answers off from when I did it the first time. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through the work and then I will think through the answers. Okay, so last week we read about one author's way of getting people to think about recycling or water conservation, which means conserve water. Remember, we had the word conservation earlier in this workshop. Okay, and last week's what his idea was to put regulations or restrictions on water usage. Well, today's articles, their titles are Use More, Pay More, and Reuse It. So if you think about the titles of the sections, use more, pay more, pretty natural. If you're going to use more water, then you need to pay a higher price for it. And then the other selection was reuse it. Reuse it. What's our vocab word for reusing something? Recycling. So it talks about recycling water. Hang on. Oh. The Schwann's guy is at our house. Okay, so let's read about use more, pay more. Okay, I'll read, you follow along. We Americans are lucky. When we wake up in the morning and turn on the faucet, we have access to a limitless amount of water for less than we pay for cell phone service. This has allowed most of us to think of water as we think about air, as infinite and inexhaustible. But our water supply is fixed and finite. It's like a giant milkshake glass filled with an endless number of straws, which represent the demands on supply. That's a really good word picture to use is a glass, like a big glass milkshake or whatever. And all these straws are in there because those straws represent all of the demands that are put upon our water supply. Okay, because water is essential to life itself, we have a moral obligation to be good stewards by not overusing it. Quite simply, we need to price water appropriately. People who use more should pay more. Okay, so we've got a couple of words in that paragraph other than essential. We already know what essential means, something that is needed. But two other words, obligation and stewards, may be kind of unfamiliar to you. Okay, so obligation. An obligation is something that you have to do. You have an obligation to come to school every day. I have an obligation to teach certain subject matters in my classes. Now, stewards, to be good stewards by not overusing it. Now, a steward is kind of like a protector, someone that watches over something, protects it. Like parents. Parents are stewards of their children. So what do? We protect and we just protect. Yeah, we'll just go there. Okay, next paragraph. The amount of water on Earth is fixed. We can't create any more water. or we can't create anymore. But sensible price signals and a robust water market will reflect the true value of our most precious resource. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, thirsty? How would you like a glass of cool, clear sewer water? Yum. Water reuse expert Melissa Meeker argues that using reclaimed water can help us be less vulnerable to droughts. Okay, reuse it. In the face of global water supply shortages, recycled water has the potential to help us be more climate independent. And even though it seems novel, reused water is already recycled back into the supply. If you live in a community downstream of another, chances are you're reusing its water. Recycled or reclaimed water is water that is used more than one time before it passes back into the natural water cycle. Treated wastewater, including sewage and water used for industrial processing, can be cleanly recycled for agricultural and landscape irrigation, industrial processes, toilet flushing, replenishing a groundwater basin, and even drinking water. And the best part is there is huge potential for growth in using recycled water. 32 billion gallons of municipal wastewater are produced every day in the United States, but less than 10% of that is intentionally reused. But the amount of water intentionally reused in America is still quite low, and it will stay that way as long as the public regards reuse as an emergency measure. Okay, let's go to the questions. Okay, key idea. What solutions to the water crisis do Op-Eds 2 and 3 propose? Okay, so Op-Ed 2 proposes that what? Okay. We can answer those questions by looking at our titles. Use more, pay more. What did that mean? What did we say that meant? That if you are a person that uses a lot of water, that means you should pay for the amount of water that you use. You should be charged by the gallon, kind of like gasoline. So, what I would put down, rats, that the more water you use, the more you should pay for the water. Okay. Now, Op-Ed proposes what? Okay, let's look at our title. Reuse it. We need to reuse the water. Proposes that we reuse, we reuse / recycle water. Okay. The writers of Use More, Pay More, and Reuse It propose different solutions to California's water crisis. Identify one idea both writers share. So the one idea that they share is what? Okay, what is the main idea, one of the main strings that ties these articles together? That, even considering the first article, the first op-ed, that people need to have water restrictions put upon them, that people need to, if they use more, they pay more, and if they, that people need to recycle water. Okay, so they're saying that people need to do what? What do people need to do if they don't want to have water restrictions, if they do not want to have to pay more for water that they use, if they do not want to pay to reuse recycle water, if they don't want to recycle the toilet water, the sewer water. What do people need to do is what they're trying to get across. They say that people need to, hang on, how do I want to word that? Okay, so what they're saying is that people need to conserve water on their own. You know, that people need to take the initiative to decide that, hey, water's in short supply, we need to not use so much. Okay. So, last question. Is Robert Glennon's use more, pay more fair? Should people pay according to how much water they use? Okay, we had some really good suggestions that come up with this. And in the class today, a lot of people said that they felt that this was fair. I think maybe 1 or 2 kids said that it wasn't fair out of like 22, 23. And the main thing that people came up with in their reasoning that it was fair is it would make people think before they used water. It would make people, I can't spell, P-O-L, think before used more water than they need. Okay, so for example, let's just say you got someone that uses a lot of water, more water than they probably should. If you make people pay for the water that they use, people don't like to be parted with their money. They really don't, especially when it comes to bills. If they want to go buy something shiny and sparkly, that's different than having to use your money to pay your bills, because paying bills isn't as fun as buying shiny, sparkly stuff. So when people have to pay their bills, pay their water bills, they don't want to pay as much to the bills, because then they won't have enough money for the shiny, sparkly stuff that they want. So logic suggests that if you use less water, or if you don't want to pay out more money, then you will use less water, which is a way of conserving water. Okay, now it's not fair. Why would this not be fair? Like I said, I only had maybe 2 kids come up with this one. And mainly the logic behind it was because of farmers. Farmers grow our food. Why did it do that? That's crazy. Okay. Farmers that grow our food what they say. Farmers that grow our food don't really know how much water will be provided naturally. So they may have to use more water than normal. And I can see their point too. You know, some years there's not a lot of rain. So the farmers depend on groundwater to help raise their crops. And if they don't have water to raise their crops, they don't make money. We go hungry. It's just the way it is. So, I guess it just depends upon what your point of view is and how you feel about whether or not it's fair. Okay. Just a reminder that tomorrow we have another Read 180 meeting, and it's about the assignment will be posted at 8:00 tomorrow. And a couple more reminders that vocab dictionary is due Friday, 175 points in lieu of a paragraph and a workshop test, and blank papers. Just so tired of opening up a paper and not having work on it. It's disheartening for us. So if you send it to me blank, you'll get it back. If you send it to me blank again, it's a 0. I'm just done. I'm done crying. I'm done being angry about it. Just matter of factly, it'll come back to you. Okay, if you have any questions about the work or anything, you can just email me, manger@carok12.org, or you can call. I'm here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 989-673-3167, extension 2105. And I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye.